In today's video, guys, I'm gonna share with you the easiest strategy on how you can defeat the Grave of Curse in Dragonheir Silent Gods and unlock legendary gear, or hey, maybe even mythical gear, depending on how advanced you are in your season. Currently, I am on my free-to-play account in Season 1, guys. This video is brought to you by Dragonheir Silent Gods, so I just want to say a big thank you to them for sponsoring today's video. And if you guys are new around here, if you haven't tried Dragonheir Silent Gods just yet, or you want to help and support the channel, help and support me, which I really appreciate, you can download the game by using my link in the description down below, or in the pinned comments, or by scanning the QR code you see on the screen. Season 1 is in full swing if you start playing, guys. Many changes, and honestly, it's tons and tons of fun. But moving over to the Grave of Curse. Now, in order to defeat this boss, you need to have a character that will remove buffs from him. And that is something that you can do by either using epic characters, rare characters. You don't need to go all the way to legendary characters, which, by the way, we are using none in today's video. So this dungeon got reworked as well, similar with the rest of them. Now it has 12 stages. Currently for me it's day 14 on the server, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm able to farm stage 8 without a problem whatsoever. So basically, Blood Prince Sanus, guys, has the following skills. With this one right here, gains attack up and damage for 18 seconds. Then with this one, deals necrotic damage to the current enemy, and with this one, basically deals damage to all of the enemies and gains a shield based off 240% of the damage dealt. And then you have the passive, which is immune to all control effects. So in order to deal with him, you basically need to remove these buffs. If no, he will hit really hard and gain a massive shield that overall will basically make him almost unkillable. Now, almost unkillable if you don't have any crazy DPS characters. Right here, we are going to use the following team, guys. We have Horus as the tank. The tank is not really important here, to be honest. It's just somebody that's able to beef up a bit on the boss. And how you may notice, if you watch the video on the Grave of Venom, we actually managed to get a defense glove, and it rolled triple HP as well. It's just perfect for him. I wish I would have some accuracy on it as well, but unfortunately, that's something else that I gotta work on after. But I'm very satisfied with this, and the weapon rolled 3x on HP, which is nuts, you know. Now, this boss right here, guys, is on an 18 seconds cycle. That means that he's going to cycle in between all of his skills every 18 seconds. So we need to have a very similar thing for our characters to ensure that he's not going to overlap my character that removes the buffs from him. So that's why I have Dane built with the skill haste set. I do have Dane fully scrolled. Him and Nathaniel are my only epics that are fully scrolled. And I have the Spiritual Incense Burner artifact. That's the whole trick with him right here. Basically, this will ensure that we are removing the increased attack always at the exact same time, because your characters usually have a 20 seconds cycle, right? So that means that every rotation, the boss will overlap you by 2 seconds. And eventually, you won't be able to use this skill at the right moment anymore, and the boss will have the buffs, and that will put your team in danger. So that's why we have the Spiritual Incense Burner on Dane. That will give us 9% extra ultimate energy, ensuring that we are at under 18 seconds per cycle. Nathaniel, he plays a very important role in here as well, but he can be replaced with the Traveler. If you build up your Traveler, you can build him on the Frost element and shield. So there's the strategy for this dungeon. You want to have a shield pretty much almost at the same time before the boss is using his ultimate. So when the boss is using the ultimate, he will gain a shield based on the damage he deals. Now, if the boss deals damage on our shield, he won't be actually able to gain a lot of shield because he's not dealing damage on our HP. So overall, that makes his shield much smaller. So having Nathaniel put up the shield at the same time is perfect. Now, of course, because I don't have a lot of skill haste on any of his runes and stuff, I don't have him at 18 seconds just yet. He's at 18.6, which means that the boss will overlap him with 0.6 seconds every cycle. So later in the run, he might get out of sync with the whole thing. I do have a timing set for this as well, So let me just quickly show you. Basically, I can actually put him at 11.5. I have Dane, that's the key right here. Nathaniel can do his shenanigans because I don't have him on 18 seconds. If I would have him on 18 seconds, I would suggest it to set him on 18 seconds and always set him at around 12-13 seconds to ensure that that shield is always up before the boss is using the ultimate. But as we have it right now, it's pretty pointless to set it on him. But Dane, he will go at 16.5, he can go at 16, not a problem. The boss will buff with the very first skill. Now the animations are a bit slower, and this will enable Dane to always remove the buffs from the boss at the same time. Sigrid will be the secondary damage dealer or the main damage dealer, as Dane is the secondary damage dealer in here, So we have the HP aura. I will use some food to gain more accuracy. That's very important. I don't have a 5-man elemental affinity 3 at the moment, only a 3-man, so that should get the job done. But let me just quickly show you how this run is working. So, pretty much exactly how I explained it. Sorry, I almost choked there for a second. We have Nathaniel putting the shield, Sigrid putting decrease attack. She will go crazy however she wants. Then we have Dane removing the buffs. Seems like we failed to remove one of them, so the boss will deal a bit of extra damage. But the shield that he just gained right there was this big. Almost nothing, okay? Now, having Sigrid consistent with a decrease attack is very important too. But unfortunately, she doesn't have enough skill haste either to go on an 18 seconds cycle. So I'm gonna have to let her play it however she can. Look at the shield that the boss is gaining. It's almost nothing because he is hitting in our shield. That's the whole strategy here, guys. Shield counters this boss really well. And of course, removing buffs from the boss. Now, if you don't have a Dane, there are not many other rare characters that are able to remove multiple buffs with the same skill. So keep that in mind. Avorash here could be pretty good to put block buffs as well. I feel like only in Season 2 the boss is changed where he's actually cleansing before buffing. I don't think in Season 1 has anything to do with it. And he can put block buffs, he can remove buffs with a battle skill. Of course, not 100%, but he can do a pretty good job if you have him available. If no, we have Grover, is a rare lightning character that can remove a buff. Now, if you cannot remove both buffs, it's still better than removing one, because how you may notice, sometimes Dane fails to remove both of them, and it's mainly because he gets resisted, right? And that still doesn't affect us too much, because we have the shield that stops the boss from gaining a massive shield as well. If the boss deals a lot of damage, he might not kill your team, but he's gonna gain a massive shield. And my main issue in the past with this dungeon was that I just did not have enough firepower to kill the boss in time, because he was constantly getting a massive shield from the damage he was dealing to my team. And of course, I wasn't able to constantly break that shield on point. Now, you can use a character that can dispel shields from the boss. There is actually an epic character from the fire element that can do the job and dispel the shield. That can be a nice touch too, but you still need to have a very good support to ensure that your characters are staying alive, right? I do have the increased defense from Nathaniel as well, which mitigates the damage furthermore on top of the shield, which is very nice. So overall, that kind of like keeps the boss at bay, doesn't allow him to completely wreck my team. You see, that's a big shield, and that's mainly because I did not have any decreased attack on the boss, and it does cost you when that happens, Okay, the main thing is to have that spiritual incense burner on Dane. Whenever you summon a dupe epic, guys, get it. So my first artifact was the Crown of the Unclean, which is on Horus on the tank. My second legendary, my second epic artifact was the spiritual incense burner. Then I prioritized getting some for the damage dealers, because it's such an important artifact, not only for this dungeon, but for many other dungeons. Right now I got a chest piece. If this has a defense percentage on it, it's going to be perfect resistance. Okay, I've got a different one with resistance before. 3 minutes and 16 seconds. Now, I won't be able to move higher on this stage only when I'm going to get better runes, and mainly to get better accuracy runes for my characters to ensure that I have enough accuracy. Already this boss requires 170 accuracy. And if you are looking at my Dane, right, his accuracy is at 86. Then I have the 3-man elemental affinity, which gives me 50 more. So that it's 136, and I'm getting 15 more. Even for this stage, I don't have the required accuracy just yet. That's usually the main problem that holds you during the beginning of a season to push higher on the stages, the accuracy requirement. So for the moment, I won't be able to get that job done. Let me just quickly show you guys the build. So this is my Horus. Total stats on him, we have a pretty good chunk of HP, right? We have almost 67k HP. Then we have 3.3k defense, which is very, very nice. And I do have 109 accuracy, 159 plus the 15. I do have the right accuracy for him. Then we have Hexandra. The tankier the characters, the less damage they will get as well. So the boss will get a smaller shield overall too. So I have a 45k HP, 46k HP, only 1.6k defense, which let's just say is good enough. 1.7 there. The rest doesn't really matter. It's basically, yeah, skill haste is good for her to heal. How you notice, we're not really in danger of dying here. On the next stage, the boss just completely wipes us because we cannot land the decrease attack. We cannot strip the buffs yet. This is Nathaniel. He's putting the shield. I have, what do we have here? 36k HP, 1.5k defense. We have a bit of enlightenment, 100 plus, 130. Skill haste. Again, the skill haste is very helpful. I will look for better runes to get more skill haste. And Dane, how you probably noticed, he doesn't have the craziest stats, but we do have 2.6k attack. We have 40k HP, 41. We have 1.3k defense and 20 skill haste. The spiritual incense burner is getting the job done. And then we have Sigrid. Decent stats. I like that I have a good chunk of crit rate on her for the moment. You know, we have a 82 crit rate. We have a 3.1k attack. We have a 36k HP. And yeah, we have a 1.2k defense in here. The accuracy is very low on her as well. We have 87 plus 50 plus 15, so still not enough for the next stage. But guys, that is how you can defeat the Grave of Curse with a free-to-play strategy, and the shield is playing a very important role. Now, how I mentioned, there are a couple of different characters that you could use if you don't have what I personally have available. So if you go at Lightning, there is this rare character, Grover, that can remove a buff. He has a chance to steal a random buff from them, and this can be nice, can be helpful. It will play around a bit with the ultimate energy too, which will allow you to have a lesser requirement on the skill haste part for the other characters. There is a fire epic hero, if you have him available, Brody, that can dispel shields. I don't think there are many other characters as epics or rares in Season 1 that can do the job, but they will be more available in the next seasons, which by the time you get to that point, you're not really going to need this strategy of dispelling shield. But this is something that could allow you to push in there if you don't have better characters. You know, it's a decent option. I wouldn't personally scroll the character. He's pretty weak sauce out of that area and the frost domain. Then, how I mentioned, the Traveler plays a pretty important role because you can always go on the frost and basically get a shield from it. So he will get a shield as well on all of your team. If you don't have Nathaniel, you can always use the Traveler and get the shield up like that. But that was all for this video, guys. Thanks again to Dragonheir for sponsoring the video. And if you guys want to stay up to date with Dragonheir content, news, tips and tricks, and everything else that you need to know, considering subscribing and smash a like on this video. And if you guys want to get involved with Dragonheir, head over to the link in the description down below or in the pinned comments, or scan the QR code you see on the screen. I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.